Private First Class Emre Sarioglu assisted an Overwatch strike team during Operation White Dome in Istanbul, but are they Overwatch's next hero? What is Operation White Dome and how does this all fit into Overwatch's lore? I've pieced together every bit of information about this character, as well as previous hints from Jeff Kaplan himself, to uncover if Hero 27 is just days away, and I've got some exciting findings to share. So let's start with what happened with this new reveal. Everything started on the Overwatch official forums, with a thread asking for a hint about Hero 27, which was replied to by Jeff Kaplan, who said, "Okay, incoming, brace for it." A few minutes later, the Overwatch Twitter account tweeted out this image. It's very similar to what we got when Ana's release was being teased, and is essentially an internal document from when Overwatch was operational. I'll break it all down in a moment, but we should quickly note that Jeff's post pretty much confirms that this does relate to Hero 27, so we can happily combine that with what Jeff has said about the hero in the past. He mentioned to Overwatch Central that the hero was meta-changing, and at the European Fun and Serious Games Festival, Jeff alluded to the idea that Hero 27 had already been hinted at somewhere before. So let's see how all this new information ties into Overwatch's lore, and see if we can find any of those hints. The operation was called White Dome, and this could potentially connect to two things. The first is the location. Being in Istanbul, the Sultan Ahmed Mosque seems like a possible location with its obvious white dome. The second relates to the now cancelled First Strike comic. First Strike was intended to tell the story of the origins of Overwatch, but after some story elements were changed, it got scrapped. However, before that happened, we had some images revealed, and in them we saw large white domes. Most theories suggest that these were Omniums, the factories that built Omnics, but nothing has been confirmed, and this comic being scrapped also means it's not canon, but that doesn't mean the ideas might not have been used elsewhere. We also have a reference number for the operation. Right now it just seems entirely random. There has been some speculation that 24AL could reference the 24th of April, but 2 months is a long time to tease a hero unless they're planning on doing something similar to what they did with Sombra. Next up we have a summary of what happened on the mission. A strike team led by Ana was deployed to Istanbul to deal with a remaining pocket of Omnic resistance. So this first line gives us a rough time frame. Ana is a captain, and we know she ascended to being second in command to Jack Morrison after the Omnic crisis was over. Up until that time, Jack had been second in command with Gabriel Reyes as the head of the team. A pocket of Omnic resistance also supports the idea of this being after the main part of the crisis was over. The resistance could be similar to the null sector Omnics we saw last year in the Uprising event, essentially a rogue group of Omnics still fighting the humans. It's most likely this took place in the early years of Overwatch becoming a world peacekeeping task force, long before the allegations of corruption occurred that caused the group to collapse. Next in the report, we learn that the rest of the team consisted of Reinhardt, Torbjorn and Emre. It's implied that Emre is a part of Overwatch, but this isn't necessarily true. They could also be part of the Turkish military and assisting Overwatch in the operation. After the team arrived, they were ambushed by the Omnics. Eventually, the team overcame the robots without taking any casualties, so we know Emre survived the battle. However, Reinhardt was wounded whilst protecting Torbjorn from certain death. While Reinhardt's injuries were fairly mild, Torbjorn was seriously wounded. This could possibly be the story of how Torbjorn lost his arm. However, the timeline on when that happened has always been a little bit confusing, so it could also be how he lost his eye. Then the final line of the report suggests that Reinhardt should be commended for his actions. So what does all this mean, and how does it tie into our next hero? It's very similar to the way that Ana was teased, and combined with Jeff's post, we can be positive this does in some way tie into the next hero, and perhaps there is even an overlap with an in-game event or maybe a cinematic. The other question we need to answer is whether Emre is the next hero, or are they just part of the story, in a similar way to how Effie was used while teasing the release of Orisa. Right now it's very hard to tell, but as we mentioned at the start, Jeff implied that the next hero has already been teased, so where could we have seen a reference to Emre or someone who connects to him? The first place is in the Moira origin video. In the background, we saw a character in some kind of suit of armour. No name or anything is attached to them. The image shows a meeting of the Talon Council, so we know it's something that they're interested in. It could be a person or it could just be the armour. But this is one of the most recent teases, and it's very similar to the way we saw Moira teased in the Doomfist comic before her release. This is the most likely connection. The original artwork that was commissioned for this shot didn't actually include that character in the background. That was added later by Blizzard themselves, meaning it almost certainly has some significance. We should also take a look at this image of a group shot from the early days of Overwatch that's been at the heart of speculation for a long time. We currently don't know who that man in the bottom left is, but it has been confirmed by Blizzard that this is not Liao, the only founding member of Overwatch that we haven't seen. So it's certainly possible this could be Emre. He's pictured with the early members of Overwatch and seems to be closer to the ages of McCree and Mercy rather than the original founding members. So those are a couple of potential hints that possibly connect to Emre. Without more information about the character, it's hard to tell if they will be the new hero or they're just part of the story for the new hero. For example, it could be Emre's child who wants to follow in their footsteps, or something else entirely. We will keep you updated on any new developments, but for now, keep your eye on that hint from the Moira video. Do you have any theories about Hero 27? Let me know in the comments below. As always, this is James for Chaos, saying thanks for watching, and enjoy the game.